Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Good evening. Looks like we have people joining in now. We will start in 2 minutes' time, but while we wait for the rest to come in, please make sure your microphone is on mute. If you can hear me clearly, feel free to drop a hello in the chat and maybe let us know where you're joining from tonight. It's always nice to see who's in the room. Okay, thank you, Prof. So anyone wants to reply in the chat, where are you coming from? A little um, warming up before the session starts. Hi, Dr. Lukman from PKDJB. Wow, from Johor. We have from Johor. Good, good. We have quite a few participants from quite a few places tonight from the registration. Everyone can join us and benefit from the session. Wow, hi Alia from UMS. Dr. Ng from PKDJB as well. Hello everyone. Okay, we will start in 1 minute's time. So if everyone is ready, if Dr. Everyone is ready, maybe we can start now. Okay, hi, good evening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And welcome everyone. Tonight's session is part of the Data Science for Medicine series organized by Unit Kesihatan Digital University Science Malaysia with collaboration from the Malaysian Disease Modelling Experts Group and the Malaysian Association of Epidemiology. We are glad you could join us tonight. My name is Hafiza and I'll be your moderator for this evening. Before we begin, a few things I would like to note to everyone. Please keep your microphone muted throughout the session. If you have questions, please type them in the chat. I'll be monitoring and will compile them all for the Q&A session at the end. Next is about CPD points. CPD points are provided for tonight's session. There will be a Google form link posted in the chat during the session, so please look out for it and fill it in. That form is the only way to claim your points. So do make sure you complete it before the session ends. I'll give a reminder when it goes up. The session runs until 10:30 p.m. so we have about 90 minutes together. We'll do our best to keep on time. Okay, let's move on. Tonight's topic is Google Anti-Gravity in Healthcare Analytics. For those who may not be too familiar with it yet, this session looks at how Google Anti-Gravity can be applied practically in medical data work. Things like cleaning data sets, organizing health data, and generating meaningful clinical insights out of it, which, as many of us in the field know, is not always straightforward as it sounds. Our speaker tonight is someone who does not just work with the health data in theory, he actually lives with it. Our speaker tonight is Dr. Aaron Ershad Ahmad Khan. He holds an MBBS from the International Islamic University Malaysia and Master of Public Health and Doctor of Public Health in Epidemiology from University Science Malaysia. He is now a public health medicine specialist and currently serves as Senior Principal Assistant Director and Head of Mental Health Unit at the Kelantan State Health Department. In that role, he leads and coordinates state-level mental health programs across Kelantan, including Stop the Stigma Mental Health for All campaign and oversees interagency collaboration through a whole of government approach. But what is perhaps most relevant to tonight's session is his work in digital health innovation. He has developed the Saringan Minda Sehat, a mental health screening application for early detection of depression and anxiety, and more recently, the Kelantan Mental Health Reporting Platform, just launched this year. His programming work spans R, R Studio, Shiny, Google AI Studio, and cloud-based deployment on platforms like Cloud Run. So, when he talks tonight about applying Google anti-gravity to my healthcare data, he is actually speaking from genuine hands-on experience, not just a slide deck. So, without further ado, Dr. Erwan, the screen is yours.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, can anyone hear me loud and clear?
Yes,
Please give.
Doctor.
Okay. So, thank you, our chairperson, Dr. Hafizah, my respected lecturer, Prof. Kim, and of course, our honorable guests. So, inshallah, this night or evening, we are going to discuss on, I will say, a new tools that becoming more and more popular now. Uh, People had been using Google anti-gravity actually more on apps development, but actually this is a powerful that can be used in many ways. And of course, one of the usage of Google anti-gravity that not many people explore is the applicability of using Google anti-gravity in managing data, not only related to healthcare, but of course it can be done to other types of data as well, and it will fit information from other software. So anti-gravity on its own, when we talk about this topic, I believe everyone will think, oh, this could be a new statistical software, but actually it's a beyond that. Uh, what anti-gravity does in general, it's like it's feeding from other systems, for example, Studio, Fighter, and so on, or even JavaScript and so on. And then based on that, you amplify the systems and bring many multiple system together. So we can see anti-gravity as is actually a tools that we can call a bridge that bridge multiple system into an integrated software. That's how we can view it. So inshallah, tonight I'm going to share what can we do with Google anti-gravity first, from exploring the system itself. So let me share my screen first. Okay, I believe everyone could already have a look at my screen now. Is it so?
Now,
Dr. Hafiz?
website, Google anti-gravity.
Okay. All right. So actually, Google anti-gravity, you can simply go to antigravity.google. So actually, it's multiple products in one platform. So if you can see here, we actually have a few products. We have anti-gravity 2.0. We have anti-gravity CLI. CLI is actually command interface. And then we also have integrated development kit, as well as software development kit, integrated development environment, and also software development kit. Uh, all this product has actually different tools, and of course, when we talk about anti-gravity, actually, most of people consume it mainly for application development, because it helps to bring together informations and also applicabilities of other softwares. So now, if let's say you click on anti-gravity 2.0, you we need to download based on our operating systems. So I already downloaded here. When we downloaded in the Windows or whatever system that you use, this is actually the interface that we can see here. So this is the basic interface. Actually, when we talk about anti-gravity, is actually a combination of softwares as well as the ability to accept prompt. So means that you can direct this anti-gravity into doing whatever we want. For example, so I'm going to show on later on how we can relate it into the practicality of data management. So first, uh, this is the beginning interface. So you have here all these features, and then to start your project, first you need to have a new project. So you have to have you need to have your own workspace. So this workspace, whether if you can use quick start, but I prefer to have a new project here. For example, you must have a specific folder so that all the data can goes into that, and then the data that being generated by this system can later on being fed into our workstation folders later on. So as simple as that. So for example, if you just want to create a new project, just add folder. Any folders can be done. So I already have my working folder here, so we are going to use that. So for example, and then after that, uh, we can start to manipulate our data. So now let me show what I have been done before we goes into practical session after, later on. So the data can be fed online. Any repository can be detected by anti-gravity. For example, if you uploaded your data to GitHub and so on, or it can search the data from your folders, or even uh, 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 even in your online system, or even in your pen drive as well. Okay, any drive can be located by the system, but it will take more time on doing that. So I will highly recommend whether you have a specific repository links, or you can simply put it into any your working folder. For example, I already have my working folder here, so I have our example data here. This is actually an old data from using SPSS. So nevertheless, I just want to highlight here that any types of data can be read by anti-gravity, whether it's SAV data of SPSS, Excel data, or any types of data software can be read. So now this will be our first practical session. So wait, I'm having some problem here. So I'm not showing about how to use SPSS and so on. I just want to show on the example of data that we have here. This is actually a very old data on factors associated with COVID-19 mortality as a a case control study that were conducted before back in 2020. So this is an example of data that being fed into the system. So we have here actually originally in this test folder, I only have the data. And then after I feed the system, anti-gravity system, to develop an R Markdown file for me. Of course, now later on we are going to discuss on how to prompt properly. So now I move on, before we move on, please remind yourself that anti-gravity is a paid software. Of course, it comes with free quota, but the quota is actually on about depending on how much prompt that you have. So I will highly recommend for you to have a specific command on whatever you want to do. For example, if already you are conducting, for example, in my case, like I'm already planning a COVID-19 mortality analysis, and yes, you can simply put it based on my your data set file. Not necessarily you want to use R Markdown in RStudio or whatsoever, but if let's say we have our clear direction, so the system will easily go straight into developing R Markdown files for you. If you don't mention any R Markdown or so on, then the system will try to find or any possible software that can conduct this system. So that can conduct this analysis. That's how it goes. So it will fit your desktop or your laptop and so on. It will try to search whether you have Python installed, whether you have any R Markdown installed, or any particular software that will enable for the anti-gravity to execute the plan that were given to you. So first, please be very specific with your command because of the economical of your prompt. If I'm not mistaken, it only allows about 16 prompt a week. Okay, so okay, let's go back to first, and then the function here we can actually choose many engines here, whether you want to use Gemini, or you can use a Cloud Sonnet, or even you can use GPT. So my preference is actually Gemini. uh, Again, the quota is same for everything. It means that after 16 prompt of Gemini, all the Gemini prompt will actually be locked, and it will only be renewed after a week. So that's how it goes. So if you want to utilize Gemini, please be specific on your prompt. That's the most important thing that I want to highlight here first. Okay, of course you have Cloud Sonnet or Cloud Opus, and as well as GPT, but for me personally, my preference will still be Gemini, because it is fast and it requires less modification later on. So compared to other model. So please be reminded, uh, this is a tool that not directly similar to ChatGPT or Gemini and so on. Yes, I know we can simply upload our data to ChatGPT and ask for any types of uh, analysis or visualization of the data. But when using anti-gravity, what we can do is that we can use it as a bridge for us to develop, for example, our markdown files or Python files and so on, so that, or we can even visualize it in terms of dashboard. For example, you can develop Shine dashboard later on. So now let's go back to our test data here. Like I explained before, this is what I've done before. So first, I having a very clear prompt. The good thing about anti-gravity is that yes, you have limited prompt, but in terms of each prompt, you can make it very long and clear prompt. So there's no limit on that. Okay. So for example, my data set is on COVID-19 mortality, and so now I'm conducting a COVID-19 mortality. So because I already installed R Markdown and so forth, and so on, and I intended to using R Markdown here in RStudio. So I just instructed what is data set, my data set, and so on. And actually, it is not necessary for you to say, okay, generate R Markdown file. Okay, this is because this is my preference. Okay, I will say what is my outcome variables. Okay, this is mortality. And then if let's say you just blindly put your data, okay, please do analysis on your data. Yes, of course, it will give you, it still comes out with your result, whether it comes out in Python or it comes out in R Markdown, depending on what software is available in your system. But this is where it gets handy. It is better for you to have your first insight, and then you prompt properly, and then from that you adjust it accordingly. So as you can see, I already mentioned this is my outcome variable in terms of mortality, and then what are the predictive variables that I have, and then I give instruction. Okay, I want the final multi-variable logistic regression, but it does not automatically include a variable. So types of variable selection must be included. So and then I start with, of course, you want to it's not necessary because the system can already have required packages based on your preferences, but this is what I prefer to use. It's not compulsory here. Of course, these packages is based on your own preference. If you don't put any packages, the system, the anti-gravity system will still try to give you whatever packages that needed. Okay. So I also here already mentioned install any missing packages if required and so on. So it will uh, automatically install all any missing packages in your system. And then of course we want uh, if you want to have data cleaning here, okay, what we want to know, they check duplicate roles and so on. And then we start with descriptive analysis and so on. Okay, after all this prompt, okay, like I mentioned before, I like to, because economical, if you paid for the full version, yes, you have more quota on the prompt, but again, because it's a powerful system, so why don't take advantage on having a very clear prompt on that. You can develop the prompt whether on your own, or you can use other tools like ChatGPT or Gemini to develop your prompts properly, and then from there you can adjust properly. Okay, so after all this type of prompt and so on, okay, I even ask the activity to make a simple write up so that I can follow up later on. And then uh, it took about 38 seconds, okay, for the system for the anti-gravity to actually give me an implementation plan. Okay, this is the most important thing. Okay, when you click the implementation plan here, this is actually where you can adjust accordingly, whatever with you want. Okay, for example here, okay, it says okay, the variable selection strategy follows okay, p-value of less than 0 to 5, and then they try to forcefully um add any clinically important variables. So this is where I try to make any changes. For example, if you are not variable selection strategy that was given or in the implementation plan, you can simply drag part of it and then put comment. Okay, and then you can just add comment, and then after that you just mention, okay, proceed with any changes mentioned before. So this is like I have before, and then after we review the implementation plan, please review all the implementation plan, and then after and then it will also give you, okay, for example, you will have there are markdown script here, okay, and then you can review your R markdown file here. Okay, if you got any changes, you can make the changes here, or you can go directly to the generated R markdown file. So that's how it comes handy, or you can review it here. Okay, immediately you can review it here. So now, okay, you can even see the walkthrough. Okay, what are the problem, you can see the study profile and so on. All these were generated by the system, and you only to need to review all this plan, or you review the task that you given before, and then based on that you adjust accordingly based on your preference, or you can study properly. Okay, so for example here I already want okay, this is the generated file. After I start with my own file, okay, it helped me to give analysis a proper R markdown file. Notice that this R markdown file was purely generated by the anti-gravity. It was not my own creation. And then I even asked for anti-gravity to knit it into HTML file. So this is actually what was generated. Okay, if you can see here, okay, this is what, okay, we have a clear, very clear neat file here. Actually, if we remember, and anyone from USM here remember, whenever we have a Prof Kim assignment, this is how he want us to present our assignment. So basically, this is all generated by the anti-gravity, so on. So you can see how step by step of handling, and of course you can adjust accordingly. And just for example, if let's say you want to see, okay, even it will also even give you possible write up based on the um, interpretation of AI. So okay, as for example, you already checking for any missing data, types of study sample, and so on, and then you can see at, okay, this all can be tailored accordingly, and this is just all help that you attain from the development of the anti-gravity system. So basically, this is all in terms of feeding data to um, anti-gravity system. Okay, so this is what I have conducted before. So now let's move on to practical session. So I'm intended to use to feed the data from um, a from a spreadsheet, and then we'll see the capabilities of anti-gravity into sorting the data, and as well as, let's say we want to develop dashboard here, and then how can we attach this dashboard to our own system. My preference here is actually to develop a dashboard based on Shiny apps. So okay, this is the data that I have actually. Like we mentioned by our chairperson before. We have already developed an apps on mental health screening. So the app will fit to our spreadsheet here. So we have about 1,100 data here, and then it's simply because this file is already accessible. So we can fit this data into our anti-gravity, and then based on that we can prompt properly. So let's see if we just give a general command, okay, without any specific command, and don't be surprised what this anti-gravity can proceed later on. So I'll just give a simple command. I'm planning to visualize my data on mental health screening. Data available at, okay, this is my spreadsheet, and then please make a dashboard. Okay, ignore location and time set, timestamp, and then here maybe you can say you want to consolidate the result. Okay, please download, okay, or please make a new data set, or maybe please make a dashboard in English, ignore location and times in the data. And now let's just give a new task, consolidate the result of screening. As we can see here, actually we have four types of result. Actually we have initially we have tiada risiko, no risk, and risk. We have risk of anxiety, risk of depression, and both risk of anxiety and depression. So let's consolidate into no risk and risk. Okay, so no risk will fit on um, depression, risk of anxiety, and both. Okay, so just okay, you choose whatever you have here. Okay, I'm sticking to the first Gemini 3.5 Flash. So this is actually you can generate proper. So let's see how does the system try to fit on whatever softwares that I have installed in my laptops, and then from there it will try to develop a meaningful dashboard for me. So usually you have to give time. Uh, So now for the first timer, let's say you never save. Okay, they will ask a lot of permission to access this file, to run your Python, permission to run your RStudio and so on. Like for example, in Scale, okay, it asks you to always allow reading file from any URL. So you can choose accordingly whether you want to save the rule of this project, or you can save the rule globally. So usually because of this, I will just keep as globally, so that after this, whenever I want to capture data from systems, it will help me give uh, it will no longer ask me for my for permissions. Okay, okay, if let's say you have problems with your R script and so on, it will fix on that. Okay, okay, okay. So now you have your own you have your implementation plan here. Means that okay, this is a mental health screen dashboard. Okay, so you before you can proceed with any dashboard or any application build or any interpretation or any R markdown or HTML files. Okay, it will always give you implementation plan. So what you need to do now is actually you need to review all this implementation plan. And for example, okay, here the dashboard will be built as a standalone HTML file. Okay, if let's say you does not agree with this plan, you want to make it Lucas Studios files and so on, you can just highlight this statement and then just put comment. Okay, so that because okay, now you also have it also gives you proposed changes. If let's say the system think that you need to have these changes, so you can just give to all these type of risiko. So like I've said before, okay, now we want to consolidate the risk into no risk, and then okay, uh, okay, we want to consolidate into the depression risk and so on. So maybe here, okay, let's say okay, either depression. Okay, so this is what I want. Okay, I'm not looking into particularly any specific thing here. So I just want to say whether this particular person have risk or no risk. That's it. Okay, so that's what I want. Okay, so okay, maybe later on you can go on later on okay, age group, how you can see it. Okay, and then maybe you can see okay risk. We can consolidate again. Okay, maybe we can see into consolidate into Malay and non-Malay for others. Okay, so maybe that's my plan here. Okay, and then okay, what you want to see in our dashboard components here. Okay, this is all can be adjusted accordingly, but usually based on my experience developing the dashboard using Antigravity, uh, it will try to give you the general one, and then you can adjust accordingly later on. Okay, so this is what we have mentioned before. Okay, so let's say okay, we just okay proceed. Yeah, just give a command here, proceed with changes that apply. Okay, and then just okay. So now you just wait for the system to build you a new dashboard, and then you can see based on the folders that we develop here. So like we have here, the system, the integrity system is actually diving into designing the dashboard template based on HTML files. Of course, because I don't properly say what types of dashboard I want, so this is how maybe if let's say you want to associate it with Lucas Studios and so on, you can just play with the systems and then simply tell them what to do. So this is actually an open thinking systems, but please be careful with your prompt. You don't want to waste your prompt. Okay, so this is what that you see here. Okay, I already have baseline model quota rich. Okay, I purposely do that. So actually, the good thing here is actually you can, if let's say you come out to quota limit like this. Okay, what you can do, of course, you can buy for a new quota, or simply you can change into other Google account, because you can simply continue your anti-gravity with other Google account. Okay, for example, we just go to the settings. Okay, and then sign out first. Okay, okay, sign out, and then maybe later on you can continue with other account. Okay. My KCHAM, our KCHAM account is actually has already been used here. So just give me a minute. I need to change my account here. Sorry. Okay, so I've already changed my account. Okay, so now it's actually my other Google account. So the good thing is that you can still access your previous chat. Okay, but what you need to do is actually you can again review back your systems, and then maybe later on we can start this data sharing again. Yeah. So okay. So actually, this is type of dashboard that were developed before. Okay, so you can see here, even though it's still not fulfilled, so this is how our previous dashboard based on our uh, data before. So you can see here it almost gives you a good dashboard. So you can see accordingly. Okay? You can even have filters here, but again, all these things can be tailored accordingly. So okay, uh, and then you can see okay in terms of density metric and so on, if you have a specific form, and then you can adjust accordingly. So if let's say you just have a general form, you just want to visualize the data, this is how you do it. Of course, again, this is just my just showing you an example. Of course, this can be shared using RShiny, or you can use other platform as well, for example Google Looker Studio. So all these things can be adjusted accordingly. So this is what we conducted before. So just having integrity, have a clear prompt, and then you will have all this listed. Okay, so again, we just have our simple command here, in contrast with our previous one when we have a very detailed command, and it gives us a very clear output, okay, like we have before in our analysis here. Okay, so everything actually can be tailored accordingly. So I think maybe we can stop here, and then we open for any Q&A. So I hope for introduction of anti-gravity in healthcare data analysis, can we can have understanding on what you can do. Of course, this is all must be prompt accordingly. So we cannot say who is right, who is wrong. So it's all depends on your preferences. So I just say okay. Okay, I forgot to mention here before, Dr. Shariza. Thank you for saying that. M MOH ID actually cannot access to Google Integrity. So, for example, even if with Google AI Studio, the one that I developed, I developed my Saringan Minda Sihat apps using Google AI Studio, also cannot be accessed using MOH. If let's say you try to use MOH, what happen is that it will block your you cannot access into this Google Cloud environments. So anything related to Google Cloud, for example, Google AI Studio, Google command line interface, and so on, is at the time being is still not being subscribed by MOH email. So can we have any other questions?
Any question from the participants?
I hope. Have you tried the paid version? uh, I paid for the Google AI Studio. Okay, Google AI Studio, different environment. Google AI Studio can be used for developing app as well. And what I like about Google AI Studio is that, in contrast to Google Anti-Gravity, is that Google AI Studio, you have unlimited prompt. You can generate or you can adjust all your apps accordingly. When you want to deploy the apps, then it got handy. And then of course you have to. I have already conducted seminars on a webinar on Google AI Studio. So I'm happy to share the recording before. So Anti-Gravity, the good things is that you do not worry about deployment. Instead, it can be simply deployed to any HTML based terminal. But the problem is that, like we said, like we see before, we did have our problems with the quota. So once the quota is full, you have to wait for another week. Then only you can get back to it again. Okay, so that's how the problem is. Okay, USM, saya dah lama dah tak pakai account USM. All my USM account has already been blocked. So maybe Prof Kim or Dr. Fitri or Dr. Hafizah can respond on that. I remember Dr. Arifin said there's still a quota on USM. So I believe it's the same quota like the general Gmail users as well.
Tak boleh. So actually for me, I'm subscribing to apa ni? Google Pro lah, so that I can use more tokens. So I'm using Google Pro as well as Cloud Pro sekali kan. So $20 and $20 a month, $40 a month.
Okay. Can it run ML? I'm assume ML in multiple logistic or what? Dr. Suhana, I'm not clear on that. Suggest base hyperparameter? Yes.
Macam
Everything actually machine learning, yes. Another practical application is on machine learning. Yes, you can use it for machine learning. Even actually, I try to develop my apps using ni, and I give. But okay, you have to be very clear on the algorithm. This is where it can, because it's all involved with API usage. So the more thinking by AI you need to do, the more costly it will come, and it will affect for in terms of Google Anti-Gravity, it will affect in your available prompts. So please be very careful on that. Of course, you can apply it as well. Okay. Actually, I have tried with a few statistics. I've conducted repeated measures and cover. It helped me with that. I've conducted machine learning using because for my Saringan Minda Sihat, we have like scoring for depression and also anxiety score. So I fit on the system. So I say that let's say that the score of 3 or more will suggest risk of depression. The score of 1 or more will suggest the risk of depression, whereas the score of 3 or more will suggest depression. Uh, if let's say you don't fit any algorithm, yes, it can still come out with the solution based on the based on the screening over the webs that it conducted for you. But yes, it will not become handy when you want to deploy the versions. So the more API you use in any cloud run or cloud storage environment, the more costly it will get. Okay. I hope that's answer my question. So I think ada soalan lagi tadi.
Nak tanya Erwan, apa beza antara Google AI Studio dan Google Gravity?
Okay, I've developed my Saringan Minda Sihat using Google AI Studio. Okay, the most distinct difference is that in terms of the deployment of the apps. So if let's say you want to deploy apps from Google AI Studio, yes, you can simply Google AI Studio can be used to develop apps, can be used to develop websites and so on. So there is on the prompt. So means that we can repeatedly adjusted our prompt until we get the best apps. We can even upload pictures and so on. And then the problem, not the problem, the previously when I started using Google AI Studio, at that time there is no prepayment yet. But now every time, not every time, the first time you want to deploy your apps, you need to have a prepayment of, if I'm not mistaken, about RM 200 ringgit, or if I'm not mistaken, 200 ringgit. So that's the first difference in terms of Google AI Studio. The second one is that, okay, which one is better tools for app building? I will say Google Antigravity, because Google Antigravity will bridge between multiple softwares, for example, JavaScript and so on. So you will have more handy tools developed. And then the practicality, and in terms of combining gaining the access or gaining the tools with gaining the result from the apps build. Okay, so we can easily deploy the system. Whereas Google AI Studio, you need to adjust accordingly using app script and so on. So I think that's the most distinct features lah. But in terms of functionality, it almost overlap. Both will utilize Google Cloud in the end. So in terms of the payment, Google AI Studio, based on how many cloud run that you apply, whereas in Google Antigravity is based on subscription. Okay, I hope that answer, Prof.
Ya, ada soalan lagi tu. Banyak juga soalan eh. Tak apa. Kita habis mungkin boleh baca.
Question from Dr. Saifuddin. Apa beza dengan Codex in OpenAI?
Okay. I think it's almost similar in one way, but in terms of the difference, actually, OpenAI is actually a more matured system. So when we say that it's a more matured system, means that because AI was developed on in terms on feeds. I mean, the more people consume it, the more feed that you get. So Google Antigravity actually, yes, it's using like we see before. We have Gemini. The machine that we have here is Gemini. We can have Cloud Sonic, Cloud Opus, and also GPT. So depending on the model that you use, the result will be different. And then the practicality of the result, for example, my experience is that I prefer to use Gemini engine on top of other engine, because it will yield a better functionality for me, and then it require less modification compared to other engine. So it gives you the same later on. Did I answer your question?
Dr. Saifuddin said yes. So we will
Boleh
proceed
teruskan.
with the next question from Dr. Wan Arifin. Can you explain the agent feature in anti-gravity? Agent features.
I have I still haven't explored too much on the agent features, but maybe Dr. Arifin Dr. Arifin has explored more on these features compared to me. So what I did before is actually more on app developing as well as the visual data visualization as well as data analysis. So actually the agent features is more like a tools. It's not like not like a prompt based tool. Means that the agent will facilitate the function that is prompted out, and then based on the then this is what we give you later on, the implementation plan, the walkthrough, and so on. So this is the function, the main function, the core function of the agent in the anti-gravity. So the agent will facilitate, and then you will decide to adjust accordingly based on your preferences. So that's what I understand based on my limited experience with anti-gravity lah. I'm still exploring anti-gravity for others, but yes, that's what we did right now.
Next question from Dr. Sharizal. Any precaution for LLM hallucination?
Okay, please be cautioned because this is it's a language model. So interpretation must be done. Be careful. Okay, you must be careful with interpretation. For example, like I mentioned before. Okay, like I mentioned before, yes, it will give you insights on the data and so on. For example, in my COVID-19 mortality, I specifically did not mention on variable selection on forceful uh, entrance of any specific variables, but the system will suggest, okay, uh, this is clinically important variables. So, but again, you have to be cautious in terms of interpretation of the result. And again, please, whenever you want to interpret your findings of any data and so on, again, we need to comes with the conclusion later on in the end. Okay.
Question from Dr. Izzat. How does it differ from Claude Agent?
Okay, it's actually it's not different. Anti-gravity is tools that allow you to explore different engine. You can simply use Gemini, you can simply use Cloud Sonnet, you can simply use Cloud Opus, you can even use GPT model to build your functions. So uh, what it does is actually is a bridge. We can understand anti-gravity as a bridge that helps to bring down multiple apps and multiple engines into one system. So that's how it works. Okay, but for me, for example, I have a preference of using RStudio and also Shiny for developing apps and so on. So because of that, whenever I prompt, it will automatically lead me to R Markdown again. But if you want to use other tools as well, you have to be very clear on your prompt. Okay.
Another one question from Iza Rosli.
I hope that answers you, Dr. Izzat.
Google anti-gravity, we need to use locally, right? But if we have lack of GPU to run it, let's say if my laptop is a CPU only laptop, can we rent it from Google AI Studio? Can we actually link with one another, or it actually does not need GPU?
Okay, the good thing about Google Anti-Gravity is that you can feed the system from the cloud, from your cloud down. I mean, any tools, any system, any apps that you build using cloud run can be fit into Anti-Gravity. So there's no problem with that. Okay, when you want to start your new workspace, like we mentioned before, the original file. So you can custom it to fit on your previous cloud run, or you want to use the new data, whether it's offline or online.
We have some comment here. It's essentially an IDE for AI models.
Uh,
Is it?
Actually, please explore Google. Uh, we have 4 products in Google Antigravity altogether. We have Antigravity 2.0, we have Antigravity CLM, ID, and also SDKs. So actually, each tools will bring different purpose. So, for example, if let's say I want to develop software or practicality that more practical, that have a more large processing power, I will preferably use the software development kit, the Google Integrity Software Development Kit. So yes, but if let's say you still you explore using Google Integrity 2.0, it will still give you maybe 70% of the output you can get from a proper channel. Okay, please explore other modalities in Google Integrity. We have they have 4 of it, so feel free to use that.
Looks like we don't have any other question. If the participants still have any other question, you feel free to put in the chat box. If not, maybe we can end the session here. Is there anything else you want to wrap up, Dr. Aaron?
Uh, okay, first of all, Google Integrity does not replace any other statistical tools. Okay, what it helps is that, okay, for example, if you have a data set and then you're thinking, oh, can anyone do the analysis for me? So this is the handiest tool that you can have. And then later on, you just check whatever being operated by Google Integrity. So that's how we can do it. And that's how simple Integrity will help you in terms of data analysis, particularly in terms of healthcare analytics. So I think that will sum up my presentation tonight. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aaron. That was a very practical walkthrough. And I think many of us are leaving tonight with something that we actually can try out. The application to healthcare data sets is actually it's a bit clearer now, and the steps you should are easy enough to follow, even for those of us who are not full-time data people. So on behalf of Unit Kesihatan Digital USM, the Malaysian Disease Modelling Experts Group, and the Malaysian Association of Epidemiology, we would like to thank Dr. Erwin for tonight's session. It was time well spent. To all participants, thank you for joining us this evening and for your active engagement. I think we have quite a question, quite a Q&A session. And I think Dr. Erwan has answered all the questions clearly. So let me share the QR for CPD points. I have also shared the link to at the chat box, in the chat box. Okay. Okay, for non doctor, you can fill in the CPD points as attendance as well and just put a 0 in the MMC number. If you join us a little late, not to worry, we'll share the recording link after the session through the email. Please fill in the CPD form link before you close the session because it may be harder to come back to it later. Can you see the screen? The QR link? Okay.
Boleh nampak dah isi sekarang.
Okay, before I let everyone go, I want to share something that I think many of you will want to know about. Tonight's session is actually the first in a full webinar series 2026 under the theme Learn, Analyze, Innovate. There are 4 more sessions coming up after this, and the topics are very much in line with what we covered tonight. In mid-July, we have a session on missing data in R, which is something that affects most every dataset any of us has ever worked with. And after that, in mid-August, the topic is exploring gender for vibe coding in R, for those who want to bring a more AI-assisted approach into their R workflow. And then on 9th September at 9 p.m., we have smart data analysis, how AI assistant can elevate your R programming, which I think will be a very popular one. And rounding off the series in mid-October is building dashboard for better health program monitoring, which is directly relevant to anyone doing program evaluation or reporting at the district or state level. All sessions are online, all are free, and all are practical. The same format as tonight. Save the dates and do follow Unique Saturn Digital USM for further announcement. More details on each session will be coming out soon. And as the proud collaborator of tonight's event, the Malaysian Association of Epidemiology invites you to become part of their growing community. Membership is an excellent way to network with like-minded leaders, stay at the forefront of the public health research. So becoming a member is actually quite simple and quick. You can register right now by heading over their official website at www.epidmalaysia.org and filling out the online membership form. Don't miss the chance to be part of shaping the epidemiology. Everyone can actually join, and not only doctors, researchers, students, anyone who interested to join. Okay, that brings us to the end of tonight's session. I think we don't have any other question in the chat box, so I can wrap up the night. Thank you again, everyone. Have a good rest of your night, and we hope to see you at the next one. Good night, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Iran. Thank you, Prof. Kim. Thank you, everyone.
Terima
Good
kasih
night.
semua. Assalamualaikum.
Have a sweet dream. Dream about anti-gravity.